sound there of the congregation... The sound there of the congregation of St. Littlebody's Church, here in the rural village of Humpingham.
The first lesson will come from Isaiah 5:21. Woe to those who are wise in their own eyes and clever in their own sight. Over to you, Mike.
Well, thanks very much, Mike. Reverend Mike, I should say. We'll hear from you a little bit later on. But right now it's time to get the fun rolling with another edition of our Sunday show, God Alone Knows. Yes, a very good Sunday morning to you all. We've got all the usual hymns, prayers and dedications, and the lines to God will be open for the next half hour, so give us a call. And with me to present the show, as always, is our resident head of religious affairs, our satellite bish, as we like to call him, the Right Reverend Wright. Over to you, Rev.
Thanks, Mike. Yes, lots of fun, as always, and one or two religious bits, but not too many, honestly, so don't turn off. And also helping me to host the show, as it were, you see, we do have a sense of humour, is our own Hilda Hurd.
Yes, that's right, Reverend. That's right. That's right, Reverend Wright, it should be. Yes, well, we've got the final of the Choir of the Year competition to be decided in the traditional manner.
And as always, our roving cameras will be getting out and about, giving us an update of what's happening holy-wise.
I have been guilty of the sin of pride.
Anything else?
I've had lustful thoughts.
Anything else?
Avarice.
Avarice was the one we were looking for! Stop the clock! You are on this week's edition of In the Box! And as is sadly customary on God Alone Knows, Martin Brown will sing a well-known and, until this moment, much-loved hymn in a variety of scenic locations in and around the lovely village of Humpingham.
God is working his purpose out as we are sat each to hear. God is working his purpose out and the day is drawing near. Nearer and nearer draws the time that shall surely be, when the earth shall be filled with the glory of God, as the waters cover the sea. March we forth in the strength of God, with the banner of Christ unfurled, that the light of the glorious gospel may shine throughout the world. Fight with sorrow and sin, to set their captives free, that the earth may be filled with the glory. The waters cover the sea.
Well, we'll be back to find out a little bit more about Humpingham and, of course, joining them live for their 11 o'clock gig, so don't miss that. But let me remind you that this show is not purely for those of you of a C of E disposition. Other denominations have their say in what we regard as a suitable manner, and regular viewers will realise that that means it's time once again to hear from Rabbi Rabbit.
Good morning, Mike!
Good morning, Rabbi Rabbit.
Now, I'd like, if I may, to talk a little about some of the liturgical anomalies of Orthodox practice.
Yes.
But before that, I'd just like to say Passover.
Oh, you'd like to talk about Passover?
No, I'd like to say pass over those biscuits. I'm starving. Boom, boom. Oy vey.
Pass over the biscuits, dear, oh dear.
Shalom, mate.
Shalom, Rabbi Rabbit. He's a caution. God, yeah.
God alone knows what I'd be without KYTV.
Well, the people of Humpingham, we've discovered, have a bit of a celebrity in their midst, who I'm delighted to say we've managed to snatch for a quick interview. Derek Higgins. Welcome, Derek.
Oh, it's my pleasure, Mike.
Now, I'm not a devotee of the programme myself, but viewers to Emmerdale Farm will, I'm sure, recognise Derek straight away. How many years of the programme did you do?
Just the one, Mike.
Just the 1 year.
Just the one program.
So we can see now an excerpt of one of your of the episode by kind courtesy of Yorkshire Television.
Abney's in here. Oh, Bobby Charlton. No, Harvey Smith.
Yes, I'm not sure if that's actually the right...
Yes, that was it. That was the one. There.
Where?
Well, if you run it again.
Oh, Bobby Charlton. No,
There.
Harvey Smith.
There, that's me, there. With the ladder.
That's it, is it?
Yeah.
Great. Well, any amusing stories? Anything interesting happen?
Oh, yes. The director, Johnny Martindale, lovely man. Do you know Johnny? Lovely. Well, he came up to me and he said, with the lunch that we had, dinner, sorry, I should imagine that I am, I will be. Did I mention that we'd had beans?
No.
Well, as you can imagine, we all just fell about.
Yes, I can imagine. Yes, I'm surprised you're able to tell it with a straight face now. So, what are you working on now, Derek, apart from that anecdote?
Well, I've got a little project lined up, a short-term commitment, but it should hopefully run and should, well, heighten my public profile even more.
It's a commercial, isn't it?
Yeah.
For Shake and Vac. Super.
He's my kind of guy. He's out of sight. She ain't heavy, he ain't tight. He's in the groove, doing right. He's the right Reverend Right.
And he's here with us now. So, what does religion really mean, Reverend Wright?
Hello.
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 Hello. Yes, religion, what does it really mean?
Well, religion's one of those things, isn't it?
What things?
One of those things people talk about on religious programmes.
Yes. Rabbi Rabbit, you're clearly a glove puppet. So how do you feel about religious tolerance?
Oh, tolerance, boom, boom, over.
Yes, I'm really not very sure this was a very good idea, actually.
Shalom.
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 Shalom, yes.
Shalom.
Reverend Wright.
Hello.
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 Hello, hello. Yes, please, let's not start everything. Religious tolerance in the modern world.
Well, of course, history is littered with stories of religious intolerance. And I'm thinking, for instance, about Luther. And I'm not talking about Luther Vandross here, kids. Plenty of pop music still to come on the show, so don't touch that dial.
Yes, Martin Luther you're talking about. Martin Luther and the Reformation.
Yes. Sounds rather like a 60s soul band, doesn't it?
Yes, if we could just concentrate on things religious for a moment, irrelevant as it might seem on a programme of this nature. How tolerant are you of other people's opinions?
Well, not everyone can be... not everyone can be of the same opinion. I believe in miracles, for example. Was a wonderful record by Hot Chocolate. But some people probably thought it was a bit overproduced.
Yes, thank you very much,
EQ
Reverend.
on
Yes,
the vocals.
I think if you don't mind, we'll change the subject now and turn to the question of religion. Hilda. Hilda.
Have I set fire to the sofa again?
No, I'm sure it's only a matter of time. Well, let's go and rejoin Martin Brown, who is out and about talking to the people of Humpingham.
Well, I'm here with Clifford, the warden here. So, let me ask you, you're the warden here?
Yes.
Yes. So how many animals do you have to look after?
I'm the church warden.
Yes.
Not the game warden.
No, no, obviously. But how many animals do you have to look after?
I don't look after any animals.
Yes, but could you say that you do?
Why?
But otherwise I won't be able to link into the song I'm going to sing next.
Oh, all right. Yes, I look after the animals.
And of course you talk to them, don't you, Clifford?
No. Yeah, whatever. Anything that'll let me get back to work.
Oh, well, I wish I could talk to the animals, Clifford. And you know, that leads me nicely into the song I'm going to sing next for Clifford. If I could talk to the animals, just imagine.
Got a long nose.
Lovely, lovely. Well, super fun, as always, on GAK. And with us is a special guest, someone you probably best know as the lead guitarist of Trouser Experience, Scabby Danger.
Morning.
Good morning, Scabby. Probably rather early for you to get up, isn't it?
No. I haven't been to bed yet.
Super. Now, many people think of Scabby as something of a wild man of rock. He's famous, for instance, for sleeping with numerous underage girls and taking over 100 different types of illegal narcotics. But he's also a man of God.
That's right, yeah.
And tell me, do you think through the drugs, in some way, you've come to meet God?
No, through the drugs, I come to meet a giant cocktail onion called Samantha. And then later on, an officer from the Metropolitan Drug Squad called Kevin.
But you've always had your religion to fall back on, haven't you?
Well, I've always had the floor to fall back on. But, you know, like God, you know, he's always been, like, there behind me as well.
He's been there behind you on the floor, cushioning the fall, hasn't he? Ready to say, ouch, that hurt a bit, but fall on me anytime, Scabby.
Yeah, right.
Well, Scabby has come along today because he's going to let us hear a bit of a beautiful new work he's composed. It's based on the book of Genesis. It's called Sucking Figs, and here's a little bit of it now.
And in the beginning, there was the Word. And the Word was... All things nice they had in that garden, but the serpent went and tempted them, and they got chucked out.
Come on, Eve, listen to me. You can have an apple off that tree.
Haven't heard that lovely hymn before.
KYTV.
Vic, one thing that I've always wanted to know, these ropes that are connected up to the bells, why are they called bell ropes?
Well, you pull on the ropes, and then that rings the bells.
From the Latin, I suppose.
And through here is the nave.
Oh, and that, of course, got its name from the naughty knaves who used to run up and down the middle of it, of course, during service.
No, it's a different word. This is N-A-V-E.
Oh. So they're both spelt the same, then, anyway.
Yes, this visitor's book is a particularly prized possession. As you can see, the Queen Mother herself paid us a visit in 1969.
The Queen Mum? Oh, that's marvellous. Have a look at this. Come on, it's chained down. Can you come in close enough to catch this? Can you... Oh, hang on. Can you see that? Oh, look, and Kilroy's been here as well. Sometime before his daytime show, I presume.
If your little girl adores her Cindy doll, then your little boy's going to love his Randy doll. Randy comes in a selection of crimpling suits, flared trousers, and dirty socks. And just look at the new accessories. A miniature sofa, a miniature television, and a miniature six-pack with accompanying vomit stain. Plus, with every Randy doll, a free company Ford Escort for driving home drunk from the pub and trying to give other Cindy dolls one in the car park. And for when he comes home late at night, why not buy a Randy doll Indian takeaway, which comes together with a Cindy doll rolling pin and a miniature divorce lawyer.
Out now from Stereotype Toys.
And now it's our very great honour to hear a local musician, Miss Teresa Hammond, who's agreed to play Mendelssohn's Violin Concerto in D for us here in one of the many beauty spots of this lovely Humpingham countryside. Take it away, Teresa.
KYTV is really entering into the spirit of things. Some might even say the holy spirit of things, but not me. And to show how seriously we're taking it, we're going to look at a recent adaptation of the New English Bible with author and interior decorator Ron Biggins. Hello.
Hello.
Now, Ron, some reviewers have criticised this new translation for straying too far from the original.
Yeah, they have, yeah.
Yes, I mean, one cites as an example, "And Jesus said, 'One of you shall betray me.' and they all shifted nervously in their seats and cried, "Not me, Jesus' old son."
Yeah, son of God, you see.
Yes, I see, yes. Right, well, how about your description of the resurrection?
Yeah.
And Mary came unto the tomb where Jesus was buried, and she found the tomb empty. And Mary was frankly gobstruck. Didn't know what to do, poor duck.
Well, she must have been, eh?
Well, she may have been considerably surprised. Whether or not she was gobstruck, I would have thought was a different matter.
It brings it to life for me, you see. Yeah.
Yes, well, maybe. What about this, then? And the Lord said, "Let there be light," and there was light, and Christ, you could see it for bloody miles.
No. That's just to grab people's attention at the start.
Yeah, what about your version of the Ten Commandments?
Oh, yeah.
Thou shalt not nick. Thou shalt not go shopping on Sundays. Thou shalt not knock off, in either sense of the word. Thou shalt not be Buddhist or any of that weird stuff. Thou shalt not shag thy mate's missus. And thou shalt not do it doggy style.
Yeah, that's my favourite. It's got pictures.
Yes, and what about this cover here?
Oh, yeah, that's Mary Magdalene.
This is not Mary Magdalene.
It is, that's Mary Magdalene.
This is not Mary Magdalene.
No, it's her tennis racket.
Yes, thank you very much for talking to us. Let's now go back down to Humpingham, where Mike Channell is dropping in for a surprise visit on some of the locals down there. Give me that.
Yeah, look at that.
Well, Humpingham is a community that dates back many years, and in several of the houses, I'm told, there are quite a few interesting period pieces. I wonder if we'll be lucky enough to find one here.
Hello, Mike Channell from KYTV.
Yes, I'm Mike Channell from KYTV. I was wondering...
That's right.
Yes, I haven't asked you yet. I was wondering if you had any unusual musical instruments.
Yes, that's right.
Perhaps we could...
Oh, come on in. It's in the living room.
Have a look at it. Yes. Ah, it's here on the table.
Well, you told us to put it there.
Yes, OK. Does anyone in the family...
Please.
So you play a bit, do you?
Well, I showed you yesterday, didn't I?
Yes, OK. Do you have a tune for us?
Well, the one I showed you yesterday, wasn't it?
Yes, OK. Get on with it.
Right. It wasn't the grass that tickled her ass, it was my little finger. Magic moment.
This wasn't what we played yesterday.
Memories weeping.
Get down and boogie. Have fun tonight with the very, very reverend. Oh, so very reverend. We're talking reverend. Hell's teeth, these reverend, right reverend God.
You know, it's all very easy, isn't it, to say that religion is an esoteric ecclesiastic anachronism. But really, it's not that simple. And I don't think we should forget that, because it's all too easy to forget, isn't it? We go to church each week and pray, but we must never forget what it is we're saying in our broth. And I think that very neatly sums it up. Mike?
Well, thank you very much for that, the Reverend Wright. Our satellite bish, the bish with the dish.
Oh, that's very good, Mike. Do you mind if I write that down? Might use it in one of my sermons.
Yes, be my guest. Well, I believe it's Action Stations now down in Humpingham, because it's time live only on KYTV for this morning's service. Take it away, Rev.
Welcome. Firstly, let me say how splendid it is to see such an attendance today. An attendance which I'm sure has nothing to do with the fact that KYTV is televising the service. Thank you. Let us start today by perhaps taking a quiet moment to reflect on those who are perhaps a little worse off than ourselves. Let us pray.
Oh, well, we seem to have lost the sound there for a minute, I think. Reverend Wright, perhaps I could take this opportunity of asking you how you feel about one of the more controversial issues of today, women priests.
Well, you know, Mike, in many ways, I do feel that it's time for the church to move into the 20th century.
Yes, well, high time. There's only 9 years of it left. So, you believe in women priests, do you?
Well, I must say, Mike, I yield to no man in my admiration of the fairer sex, as I believe they like to be called.
Bless you.
But at the same time, I must say that St. Paul is quite clear on the inadmissibility of women priests. Ecclesiastic tradition is very much opposed to it, and I think on a practical level there would be some concern in higher canonical circles that their tits would get in the way.
I'm sorry?
Their tits. Their cupcakes, I think they're sometimes called.
Or plumpies.
Or plumpies, yes. I'm surprised you've never heard of them.
Yes, I have heard of them, actually,
Yes,
Reverend.
they stick out your upper front parts if you're a woman.
Well, I believe play has started once again down in the church, so let's rejoin the Vicar of Humpingham and our commentary team, who are, of course, covering this morning's service with the minimum of intrusion.
And now, if you would all rise, hymn number 43.
So, we have a winner in our lucky hymn competition for this week.
Now, there are thousands of different religions in the world, you know, but the wonderful thing is that when you look closely at them, they're all basically the same. And with me now is Reverend Terence Bland. Hello.
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 Hello. Who is from the Church of the Mildly Ecclesiastical. And also joining us is Afshin Khalid, who's an Islamic fundamentalist from the Shiite Muslim militia.
Death to the West! I reject your customs and I spit in your decadent way of life.
And hello to you, Afshin. So, how do you go about spreading the word of Islam?
With the sword, the gun, and much letting of blood.
Reverend Bland?
Well, awfully similar, you know, although we tend to rely more on coffee mornings and jumble sales.
Yes. So, Afshin, how do you react to people who are opposed to you?
We blow them up.
Reverend Bland, would you go along with the blowing up?
Oh, that's an awfully difficult one, you know.
Yeah.
Personally, I prefer to cycle round to their house for a chat and bickies.
Chat and bickies.
Chat and bickies.
Chat and bickies. Perhaps I could bring up the thorny question now of the satanic verses.
Death to Salman Rushdie.
Reverend Bland, death to Salman Rushdie?
Well, I'd certainly think very seriously before buying a paperback copy of it.
Yes, I think I go along with you on that one. Finally, what about people who are in favour of Sunday trading? Afshin?
No, I have no real opinions about it.
Reverend Bland?
I say burn the bastards.
If your spirits needs uplifting and you hit an all-time low, there's nothing better for the soul than the God alone knows show.
Hello. At this time of the year, with Easter just coming up, our thoughts all start to turn, don't they, to presents under the tree and Christmas pudding. So let me start, as always, by reading some of your lovely letters. It's a lovely letter.
Yes, hello, and welcome again to Question of God. Our two captains, as ever, are the Very Reverend Terence Bland.
Hello.
And opposite him, the moderator of the Church of Scotland, Graham Anderson.
Hello.
And their two guests are former British heavyweight boxing champion, Gary Mason.
Hello.
And world darts champion, Phil Taylor.
Hello.
And so we begin with our mystery celebrity round. Reverend Bland and Phil Taylor, I want you to look at this and tell me, who is this?
Yes, I think I know this. This is the Bishop of Woolwich, isn't it?
OK, let's just see. It is the Bishop of Woolwich, yes. 2 points to you, Reverend Bland. Graham and Gary, who is this?
Oh, yes. Yes, I think I know who this is. This is Rosalind Ramsey, isn't it?
Well, let's just see, shall we? No, it's actually Salman Rushdie. Right back there. So, the Reverend Bland's team ahead. We move on to the next round, the numbers board. Reverend Bland and Phil?
4, please, Mike.
Number 4. OK, Reverend, who is this?
Oh, well, this is an easy one.
Yes, I thought you'd probably get this one.
Yeah, this is Robert Powell, isn't it?
Yes! That's right, Robert Powell in Jesus of Nazareth, of course. Well done. And we go on to the next round. Graham and Gary, what happened next?
Oh, this is the resurrection of Christ, isn't it? I think that the tombstone moves away here.
Yes, there it goes. Any idea of the true nature of redemption for an extra point?
The salvation of the inner being?
It is the salvation of the inner being for an extra bonus mark. Very good. Which means that it's the turn of the Reverend and Phil Taylor. Have a look at this and tell me what happened next.
And I say unto you...
Any ideas?
No, well, it's the Bishop of Luton here. He's giving a sermon on the sanctity of holiness, I think it was. And, yes, well, if I'm not much mistaken, he leans forward onto the lectern and I think falls into the front row of the congregation.
Well, OK, let's just see.
And I say unto you...
Yes, absolutely right. Well done indeed, 2 points. Any idea of the source of Christian truth for an extra point?
I say purity, yeah. Purity.
It is purity, yes. Purity for a bonus point. So at the end of the game, the Reverend Bland and Phil Taylor are the winners with 4 points. So it's congratulations to the Reverend who wins this lovely KYTV incense burner.
Oh, lovely, good.
And Phil Taylor who wins this lovely leather-bound copy of Bertrand Russell's Theological Patents in Contemporary Western Thought. Good night.
God alone knows show.
And let us all conclude by saying together the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, our Father. Surely some of you must know the Lord's Prayer. Yes, gentlemen down here.
Our Father, which art in heaven, how are you today?
Hallowed be thy name.
Hallowed be thy name. There will be bread. Trespassers will be prosecuted. All power to your elbow. Carmen.
Yes, well, Mr. Arnold Forrester of Guildford has a timely reminder of one of the pieces of Christian wisdom.
God is love, says the Bible.
And he goes on.
People who don't realize this deserve to be electrocuted and buried in unconsecrated ground.
Well, thank you for that kind letter, Mr. Forrester. And Mrs. Cordner has asked to see, once again, Martin Brown's rousing finale to the broadcast from York Minster a few weeks ago.
For the wings of a dove.
Well, time to shut the good book for another week. So whether you're Roman Catholic, Welsh, Presbyterian, or whatever floats your boat, we'll see you next week. So until then, it's very much amen from all of us. Goodbye.
Shalom!
Good night.
He came to Nazareth where he had been...
Cut! Tea, everyone. Back in 5 minutes, please.
Give up.